Okay, creatives, remember this image right here? This is from the decal project that we just finished. What we're going to do now with this thing is I'm going to show you guys how to make a quick type treatment that's pretty common in our field. And I'm going to put this eagle into a circle, and I'm going to put text wrap on this. So the first thing I want to do is click right here with the ellipse tool, hit the Command Option Shift, figure out how big this circle needs to be, and I'm going to move it down here to encapsulate the beak and get rid of the fill. Okay, I'm clicking on this with the Shift key to keep it constrained, and I like that, maybe a little bit more. Okay, an arrow key it one way or the other to your liking. And what I'm going to do with this circle is I'm going to hit Command C, Command F, because I want to have a nice ribbon. Command Y. That's pretty nice. I like that. Let's get rid of this. And with my black arrow, I'm going to marquee these two. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I marquee, for this one specifically, the smaller of the two circles, I'm going to copy that. And now I'm going to go and marquee this. And I'm going to give it a fill color so that you can see what we're up to. And I'm going to go to my Pathfinder, and I want to get rid of the middle. So I've created a band of information. Green on red is going to give me really a lot of association with Christmas. And it's too early in the year for that. Christmas is year-round anyway, right? Okay, that might be nice. Yeah, for now. Okay, so I'm going to put that ring right here and leave that alone. And I'm going to rename this to banner. And say OK. New layer. This is going to be named background over here first. Put the lock in this, and then I'm going to go to layer 4, and I'm going to put type. Okay, so remember I copied this inner ring, Command F, there's the ring. I'm going to make it just a little bit larger than the circle. And over here you've got these tools. Okay, I click and hold, and you see all these type tools. It's overwhelming, but we use this one all the time. And just to cover type properly, I want to just show you up here that if I click, lorem ipsum is Latin, and it's a type filling or Greeking or body copy. It's a way to fill and to get something to give you a spec on what body copy might look like on a page layout. So lorem ipsum, disregard that you can hit delete, and I'm going to type in eagle. And with my black arrow, I can click and stretch this. Why? Because all I did was click and type. And with my black arrow, when you click and type, that allows you to manipulate this. There are people that designed typefaces, though, and are probably mortified at the prospect of you stretching their typeface and ruining the perfect proportion, which they deemed to be the case when they issued it. So I always liken it to somebody that buys a Porsche that's made to be a sports car, and then they decided to put it, take it to the shop and make it into some sort of a limousine. Because now the ultimate design for this particular car is completely gone in favor of some new perception of what it might be. So their idea of what a Porsche was perhaps luxury instead of performance. And so to fit that, they made it into a stretch limousine, which compromises the designer's intent for that vehicle. So that's the same thing with this. Don't stretch type. I mean, you can stretch type, but rule of thumb, some people just really go too far with it. Now, if I click and I drag this, instead of just clicking and typing, I clicked and I drug a type box. Watch what happens now. This is what happens. You get type fitting that occurs, okay? So remember, in Illustrator and I believe in InDesign is the same issue, same situation. You click and you drag, you're going to get type fitting columns of type. If you click and you start to type, you're going to be able to manipulate it that way, okay? Quick little overview on that stuff. Now I'm going to create a circle here. So we've covered the basic type tool. Type area tool is if I click in here on the contour edge, it fills with type. the bigger the type, the more difficult it is to fit. And I'm going to go up here to this bar, and I'm going to click Center Justify, and I'm going to reduce the type size. And let's see, we have placeholder text, the same as we do in InDesign. And so that's what happens with placeholder text. That's this particular type tool. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. Now the tool that we're using right now is Type on a Path tool. I don't deal with vertical type tools because I don't believe in it. If I go back, and let's go back to Eagle. Okay, if I'm going to show this in a vertical way, in the Western world, you do this, and it's broadside type treatment versus a liquor store treatment. Because the reason for not doing it with the liquor store treatment, which means I'm going to go E, return, A, return, G, return, L, return, L, and E. What happens is a lot of people don't take into account the fact that the width on these letters serpentines from the center axis, Command R. If I drag this out and you look, see how far over the L is, how far over the G is, etc. So it just looks awkward. And again, letters are taken for granted. And the most efficient way to communicate, I'd say, is in these symbols that we call words. Because have you ever thought lately how effective a stop sign is? You see a stop sign, you look at it, it communicates to you, you stop, look both ways, and you continue on your way. That's so effective that you don't even think about it, okay? And that's what letter forms are. Letter forms have evolved for centuries, millennia. So let's get rid of this. Let's not do vertical type. That's why I don't teach that. Deleting this. And so now we get to the Type on a Path tool. That's why I don't deal with these vertical types, etc. All right. Vertical type tool, no. We're going to Type on a Path. In order to use Type on a Path, Command Y, you have to click on the path. And what I'm going to write here is America. What happened? Screen redraw, that's what happened. Okay, America, I spelled it right, what do you know? Black arrow, and you can see these cursors that are up here. This is bizarre, I've never seen it happen like that, but this represents, and you're grabbing the line, not the box. The box, if you're familiar with InDesign, is for type linking. You don't want to deal with that on a single sentence here. You're going to grab this is the end of the sentence and drag it all the way around. And there are 3 cursors to be dealing with, okay? This is the beginning of the sentence. You grab with your black arrow and you can reposition it. But see, if I get this, it's the equivalent of having a type box that's too small. See the red box indicating that there's more type here. There's more type here. Oh, there it is. So that's the end of the sentence. Sans serif type, product of the 20th century, progress, progressivism, science. There's not a lot of emotion involved with this. This is very straightforward. Whereas if you were to change the typeface and you go with something that's more of a timeless typeface, let's say like a Garamond that's from the 1600s, if I recall, maybe the 1500s, there's a lot of people that have connotative association with this type of a typeface. They may associate it with children's books growing up. It's a much easier, much more elegant font to read. And if you know enough about this stuff, you'll see stuff like the arch in the base of the serif area for nuance. I mean, this is beautiful, beautifully designed typeface. And I'm going to run with this typeface for this particular thing because we're talking about a symbol in the form of an eagle, and a lot of people like the symbol of the eagle and a timelessness. So, Command Y. Let's zoom away. And again, Command T will bring up this custom type palette. Make sure that you show your options. And I'm going to select this type and I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to make it, see how big it is. Okay, I'm going to make it larger than that. Okay, I'm happy with this. Black arrow, get this and move it out. Spacebar, get this and move it out. And type tool, select this, and over here, this is my tracking. Tracking is going to space between letters. Okay, so I'm going to say 50, return, and it creates some space. But what I really want to do with this is look at how the I and the C are really kind of awkwardly spaced, and the A and the M are almost touching. So in order for you to push the M away, you got to go and push the positive number here, and you can see M is getting pushed away along with all the other letters. Same thing's going to go with I. I'm going to pull the C closer to the I. So I'm going to do this. And that's looking a little bit better. Get the C, push the A away. And then I'm going to maybe increase the size of this. Maybe change it to bold instead. Do I have the bold option? I do. Okay, and look at that, changed our spacing all over again. So let's get the R, and let's push this further away. And you guys can go in here and get the nuance of it. I'm going to make this white, no stroke on it. And down here is the baseline shift. The line where the letters are residing is called your baseline. So you go here and you can push it up and off of the baseline. And then I'm going to look at this to see how it's centered up, and I'm going to move this. And that's pretty good. I'm going to baseline shift this up some more. And I'm going to call this good for now. Okay, so you guys go ahead and get this part going, and then the next step is going to be to put it around the bottom side.